Just for a minute there, could you imagine yourself on that beach? Blue sky, turquoise sea, wind in the palm trees. I didn't get away to the Caribbean this summer, but I have been very privileged to get away to slightly rainy Northumberland and explore Hadrian's Wall and all the lovely countryside around there with my family. And on the way back, it was absolutely chucking it down, really, really, really heavy rain. So we decided to not even try the motorway and actually take a very long scenic drive from Carlisle to Stockport without going on the motorways. I would advise this pretty much until you get to North Manchester when it stops being pretty, but up until then, you've got Cumbria, you've got Yorkshire, you've got Lancashire, and it's all very pretty and lovely. And we stopped for lunch in somewhere called Kirby Lonsdale, which is right on the edge of North Yorkshire, bottom end of Cumbria. And there's a lovely bridge called there and a sign which really, captured my attention. I don't know if you can see that there. Oh, we are going to be careful with the distance here. You just about see what that sign says. It says public footpath to church via radical steps. And I was like, radical steps? What exactly is so radical about these steps? And a chap who was walking past overheard me and said, actually, they're really, really steep steps up to the church. So about 50 stone steps. And they've been, around for a while. And there's a pretty walk down the river, and then you have to go up these radical steps to the church. And I actually thought, public footpath to the church via radical steps. Are there radical steps that we, the public, need to take to follow Jesus, to find Jesus, to know him, and really live authentically as Christians? And I was pondering what Bible verse could possibly fit in with that thought when I got a text from David telling me what I was preaching on this Sunday. And I was like, this is exactly the verse. So we're in Matthew 16. And Jesus has been teaching and performing miracles. And he's just started talking about where this is all leading to. He says that from that time on, he began to show his disciples that he must go to Jerusalem and undergo great suffering at the hands of the elders and the chief priests and the scribes. And Peter was like, no. This is all going great, Lord. Your teaching's great. You're healing people. You're really popular. I can see this is going really, really well. We are not talking about dying. Don't you dare entertain that thought. And Jesus speaks really harshly to Peter because he says, no, this is not just about me being a good teacher or me being a person that you like and want to keep around. And, this isn't about just this. This is about something so much bigger. I'm about saving the world here. I'm about salvation for everyone. This is so much bigger. And don't you try and talk me out of that. You're doing the work of the devil in trying to talk me out of what I came to do. And I'm sure in the back of Jesus's head somewhere, because it came up again when he's praying in the Garden of Gethsemane, there's a bit of him that goes, you know what, that would be nice, wouldn't it? It'd be nice if we didn't have to do this whole, sacrificial death thing. I'd actually quite like not to have to do that bit. If I could achieve what I needed to achieve by not going through that awful experience, not only the physical suffering, but being separated from my Father God for the first time in eternity. If I could avoid that, that would be great. And that's why he pushes that thought away so robustly, because he can't afford to entertain it. He's about something bigger than Peter can understand. Jesus had to take radical steps, and part of following him involves taking radical steps. Jesus goes on to talk about this in verses 24 to 26. He says, "If you want to become my followers, let them deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. For those who save their life will lose it, and those who lose their life for my sake will find it. For what will it profit them if they gain the whole world but forfeit their life? Or what will they give in return for their life?" Just as Jesus didn't shrink from taking up his cross and all that that involved, Jesus says, take up your cross and follow me. There are radical steps that we need to take as Christians. There are things that will cost us, things that will be painful, things that will be difficult. It's all part of the following Jesus. If you want to be a sincere follower of Jesus, then it's going to mean giving up stuff. It's going to mean things are hard, because doing the right thing is often not easy. So what exactly does Jesus mean by take up your cross? What exactly does he mean? Well, I've heard this verse used an awful lot when talking about inviting people to take part in missions, to even, isolate themselves from the world and join a monastery or a convent, to give away nearly all of their possessions, or to give up regular work, regular family life, and become a professional Christian, whether that's as a priest or a vicar or a youth worker. I think there is an element in which, God could be calling you to any or some of those things. And part of being a Christian is holding your life open before God and saying, Lord, if you really want me to do something really out of the ordinary, then I'm up for that. Because at the end of the day, you call the shots. Being a Christian means that you don't run your life anymore. Jesus does. And he has the authority to say, change jobs, give your money away, all those things. But for most of us, our cross is more about picking up what we've already been given and being responsible and careful in the way that we handle the responsibilities we already have. It is difficult, it is hard to live well, to live responsibly, to look after the people who depend on us, to be diligent in the way that we spend our money and careful in the way that we look after our bodies and our homes, the way that we do our work faithfully and fairly. It's not easy. And it requires us to focus and do the hard and the right thing, and not to procrastinate and get distracted and amuse ourselves instead of getting stuck in to the job that God has given us. And for many of us, that's what carrying your cross means. It means getting up every day, looking at what you have to do, what you're responsible for, shouldering that burden, and stepping out and walking with it as Jesus would have you do. So what is your cross? What is it that Jesus has given you to do? What are you responsible for? What are the things that are hard and difficult, and quite frankly, you'd really rather not do them? Be reassured that those things are not just you being a good egg or you being a decent human. They're actually part of something much, much bigger. Much like Jesus' death and resurrection looked like an utter tragedy at Easter Friday before the victory of Easter Sunday. The stuff that we plug away at, that we work hard at, that we struggle with unseen, all of that is part of something much, much bigger than us. The good that our God is doing in the world through us. Through our commitment to giving up the easy life, the easy way out, and to committing to living as He intended. So what is your cross? And as you pick it up and you do your best and you fall and you get back up again, you ask for forgiveness and you fall and you get back up again, how does the way that you handle that show that Jesus is at work in your life? Because I can guarantee that if you've got something tough to handle, the way that you deal with it as a Christian, the way that you draw on the strength that God provides, the way that you pray through things, that you seek wisdom from the Bible and from wise Christians around you, all of those things will shine as a bright witness to what Jesus is doing in your own life. If you're doing it right, it'll be obvious that you couldn't be doing this on your own. That you're doing this because you're plugged into the resources of heaven. And that gives you the strength and the wisdom and the courage and the peace to pick up your cross and follow Jesus faithfully.